In 1998, 14-year-old Jane and her family moved into 455A Sackett Street in Brooklyn, New York. They were excited to move into this apartment because it was their first apartment that had 3 floors, but from the very beginning, they sensed a sort of darkness in the apartment and always had a feeling that they were being watched. And within 2 weeks of living in the apartment, Jane would be sexually assaulted by a neighbor in her own bedroom. Later, another neighbor told them that tragedy seemed to befall any family who moved into that apartment. There was a little boy who had been killed by a fire in the apartment in the 30s or 40s, and another family had been killed by the mob in the same apartment. There were other weird things about this apartment too, like it was always really cold and damp feeling, and whenever they tried to install a phone, all they would get was static. They had to give up on installing the phone. Jane's brother was almost killed in the apartment one day when a piece of the ceiling fell down and probably would have killed him had he not gotten up and gone to the bathroom. Jane herself had a weird brush with death in the apartment when a fire just randomly started in her room, and she probably would have been killed had a friend not come over at that time and kind of pulled her out of her room. Some of Jane's friends saw weird things in the house. One of them saw a little boy dressed in burnt rags staring at her in the mirror, and another of her friends saw a woman just walk through her door in the middle of the night. And both of these friends were so freaked out that they refused to ever stay the night at Jane's apartment again. Finally, Jane and her family were able to move out of the apartment, and it was such a relief for them to finally leave. But later they would find out that the family who moved in after them found the body of a little boy hidden in the walls while they were trying to renovate the apartment. And since then, weird tragedies have continued to befall anybody who's moved in. So I guess don't move into 455A Sackett Street in Brooklyn, New York. Creepy.